I was born in Sealy, which is the next town over, but raised here in Brookshire. Come from a large family. My grandmother was one of 13. My mom is one of 10. And I have 46 first cousins. Back then, Brookshire was really taking care of Brookshire. Like neighbors depending on neighbors. You know, if somebody's sick, everybody shows up to help out. This side of the tracks where we are is labeled as the hood, while the other side of the tracks is more okay. But now we have African Americans on both sides of the tracks. So this area, before my time, was really the poor side of town. You know, people may not have lights or water or whatever the case may be, people on food stamps. And because of, you know, my situation growing up, I just told myself, come hell or high water, I will do better than that for my kids. And then I was thrown off with my daughter's health reasons. We basically lived at Texas Children's downtown for about a year. So I lost a lot during that time because I wasn't going to leave my baby there, you know. And that was a point in my life where I was literally living on faith and faith alone. Renaya was finally cleared to go to school because she wasn't allowed to be in daycare or anything. So I was a stay-at-home mom for 7.5 years. And once she got that clearance, I started putting in applications. And I know I had over 100 applications out. I was going on all these different interviews, but because of the gap in my work history, I think that's why I wasn't getting hired. And so I was leaving my grandmother's house, and they were in the process of building the McDonald's here in Brookshire, and they were hanging up the sign said, now hiring. And I was like, you know what? I'm applying. And I got the job. And so when I made crew trainer, I was like, okay, I'm giving myself 6 months to become a manager. Well, 2 weeks later, I became a manager. And I was like, okay, I'll give myself 6 months to be a department manager. And 2 months later, I became a department manager. And within 2 years, I was given the store down in Columbus. And my daughter got sick, and she needed a procedure done. And in the process of her health declining, I was having to leave work because by the time I would get to the school where they called me because she passed out or something, she was already at the hospital. And they were taking her from the hospital several days a week, you know, and then I just went ahead and quit my job. I was like, it's too stressful. Like, I can't do this. I have to be a mother first. I got her through the procedure, and then once she got better, this is how God works. The Brookshire McDonald's owner-operator reached out to me, and they were like, hey, we got your information from my old owner-operator, and we want to know if you could come and help out. And I was like, only a couple days a week because I'm, you know, still taking care of my daughter or whatever. And I started with just a couple days a week, and then other stuff happened to where they were like, we want you to take over the store. So I was like, okay, which was better for me because everything that I wanted to do for my community. When Trey 9 came out, he was doing Hip Hop Hope, and my kids were young. So some of my first cousins who were way younger than me were teenagers, and they would go to Hip Hop Hope all the time. And my grandmother was living with me, but wherever she was, that's where the grandkids were. So all of them would be in my house, and they would always, oh, we're going to Hip Hop Hope, we're going to Hip Hop Hope every Thursday. And so after a while, this white guy comes knocking on my door with a man bun on his head in one of the stalker-looking white vans, and he introduces himself, and he's like, hey, my name's Ryan Orban, and, you know, I'm with Eyes on Me over here with Hip Hop Hope. And I was like, who is this dude? But I just got this sense of calmness and peace that it was almost as if the spirit was saying, you can trust him. And so he was like, yeah, you know, I just wanted to see if the kids could come out, and I did. And that was huge for me. So that's where my relationship with Eyes on Me really strengthened, was through Ryan. Because if I knew if I needed a friend, if I needed prayer, I could go to Ryan. And that's what I did.
You know, we just have had a good working relationship in regards to her kids being involved in all our programs since the days of Hip Hop Hope, before we ever had the hangar. I know she was very well thought of in the community. I would see her interactions with people, even on social media when she was running the McDonald's here. You know, there would be people complaining in today's day and age online all the time. And CaSandra would always politely nip it in the bud. She would she would just handle the customer service issues. She would, thank people for their criticism and go above and beyond out of her way. And I said, look at this This mom, she's a single mom of 3 teenagers. They have a bright future ahead of them, and she's got good boundaries in place with them and everything. And I said, man, this is, a great person that loves God and that loves her family and loves her community. We were at a place here at the hangar where we were getting a ton of momentum, and just so many things were happening. And essentially day to day here was me here, right? And Dennis and Trey were like, hey, Ryan, is there anybody in the community that you could think of that would really be a good asset to really come, bring on board here at Eyes on Me at the hangar? And I started thinking, and CaSandra's the first one that came to my mind. But I'm like, man, there's no way we can afford her, man. She's running the McDonald's here in town. She's providing for her family. I'm like, I didn't even want to ask.
And then he reached out to me, and I'm working hour 16 of a 19-hour day. And he was like, hey, do you know anybody that could, in the community that could do some administrative work? And I was like, me? He was like, whoa, what? And I'm like, me.
What we had in mind was kind of an administrative assistant role, and when CaSandra came on board, it was clear that God was doing something bigger than that. And immediately we made her the assistant director, and she has just came in here and just crushed it. She's been such a bridge between us and the community. She's born and raised here. She just has all those relationships.
My community is it means a lot to me. The people that are here, they mean a lot to me. I want to see Brookshire thrive. I want to see Brookshire grow. I don't care how long I'm here. It does not feel like I'm working, and that's what I ask God for. I want to be somewhere that I feel fulfilled. I want to live in purpose, but I want to live in the light that you want me to live in. And what other place can I do that at than with Eyes on Me in this community? So from the food distributions to the mentoring to wings to no matter what we have, I'm always able to share the gospel with somebody. And that's because of Eyes on Me and all of the training that I've received through them.
I've said my prayer is always to have a team of at least 5 people from out here in the community that really help steward this move of God, and CaSandra's leading that, and she's just been amazing. She's the first of many from this community that are really starting to take ownership of the community transformation piece here in Brookshire.
I'm grateful every single day because the seeds that we are planting in this next generation, in my heart, I honestly believe that Brookshire is going to be 1,000 times better because of it.